Okay, we're good to go.
Awesome. Okay, good morning. We are going to have so much fun today. Today we are going on to our next lesson called liquid letting. And yesterday I showed you guys an example of some stained glass. And here's some other examples. You can see that each piece of glass is outlined in lead. Like that's what holds a stained glass together. So we're not actually going to do the real deal, the real lead, but you can see like you can do geometric designs. You can get very detailed. Like these are incredible examples of stained glass. This is a Tiffany, and you guys may have seen Tiffany lampshades or Tiffany lamps. They were very, very popular and very expensive if you needed an original Tiffany. So, yeah, so you guys could look that up if you wanted to know more about it. But the liquid leading gives the same look as the actual lead. Like my window here, I don't know if you can see, it has like these little lead partitions in between glass. So it gives the same look, but it's a lot easier. So that's what we're going to do today. So you'll need your picture frames, and you'll just take out your glass, your picture frame, and you could put your gloves on for that so that you don't cut yourself. Kristen, I think I left my picture frame and pot at the studio. It's in a bag, I'm pretty sure. So I just found one of my own. I could reach your lips, it's fine.
Sorry. I forgot I was muted. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
That you forgot it.
Yeah, I know. I was looking for it.
I saw them on the plate and I was like, oh no, I wonder if she.
No, Chandler, it's a lot smaller. It's an actual picture frame.
Yeah, that's it, Madeline.
Yeah, that's it, Madeline. Okay.
Yeah.
Show Chandler. Turn it around so Chandler can see. Okay, you got it, Chandler. Okay, and then you guys can take all the plastic wrap off and take it apart to get the glass out. And something I didn't include in your kit because I meant to clean it beforehand before I gave it to you. But something you have to do to prepare your glass is clean it with some isopropyl alcohol. And if you took the watercolor class, it was in your kit. And I don't know if you know where that is. Or if you guys have some. This is kind of like a household item that everyone has. So if you have some, it would be great to clean your glass with it. If you don't worry about it. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah. How do I take out the glass?
So first, Chandler, on the back side, there's like these little tabs that go underneath the edge of the frame, and you're gonna have to turn those. And then you can slip it out. So maybe ask your parents if they have some rubbing alcohol.
Do we have any rubbing alcohol?
We have denatured alcohol. Would that be okay?
I don't even know what that is, so I'm assuming it would be better than nothing, I guess. Denatured. But yeah, I just have it on a little paper towel here. And I'm just going to I'm just going to rub it.
You put the books.
Yeah, I'm I'm just gonna rub my glass with the isopropyl alcohol to clean it.
I'll do it on top here.
Zoom wants to do something.
Okay. And then the other thing you'll need is in the very back of your curriculum, there's these little templates. There's 6 of them. There's a butterfly, there's a geometric sign, flower, and a sun with mountains. There's a turtle and a hummingbird.
What kind of paper is that?
You can choose whichever one you want. I'm going to do the hummingbird. That might be like probably more the complex one. You might want to choose a simpler one. But they're outlined to the size of your picture frame glass. Okay, so you're just going to set this underneath your glass and line up the edges of your glass with that.
Yeah, which one do you want?
That little black box.
Ooh, beautiful.
That it's centered.
Oh, she's gonna. It's like your glass is very big. I'm gonna do her. Really pain a little bit.
Who had some rubbing alcohol? Did you have any, Madeline?
No.
No, that's fine.
Is it working?
Yes. Okay, so which one do you want?
First.
Well, were you able to find any?
My mom was trying to.
Maybe if you don't find any, I don't know how clean those are. They were like individually wrapped. But maybe just get like a paper towel and just rub it just to get any dust off.
I think some like Windex or
Yeah, Windex would probably work because it probably has some alcohol in it.
or even hand sanitizer for that matter.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Windex would that's a great idea. I think it helps this liquid letting to stick to this glass so it doesn't peel off perfectly.
Will you get
And the other thing you'll need is your little bottle of black stuff. And you might want to just like tap it to where all the liquid goes up to the top. Don't like keep the little cap on. You don't want it to come out. You just want all the liquid towards the bottom of the bottle. But we're going to be squeezing it out so that it comes out easily.
This is the top, right?
There we go. You gotta be careful. See, sure.
Tap it on the table.
Bird one? Or do you want the turtle?
We're gonna work a lot like how you frosted a cake. Like decorations on a cake or cookies or something. We're gonna be using this in a lot of different ways. So you guys can learn how to do it with your liquid letting, but then you'll know how to frost a cake.
Hey guys, so Dust is kind of breaking up, and I think it's because of our wonderful Zoom sound, the poor quality of Zoom sound. So what I'm gonna do is mute everybody so that it's easy to hear Jess, okay? And
Miss Jess?
I'm gonna be watching, so if you guys have a question, just raise your hand or put it in the chat and I'll unmute you, okay? What's your question, Madeline?
Do we need to use our gloves?
No, actually, you don't need to use your gloves. It might be easier to handle a bottle without your gloves on. Yeah.
Cool.
After
Okay.
you get the glass out and it's positioned, you can take your gloves off.
I'm gonna mute everybody and you guys just like wave at me or send a chat if you have a question to unmute you, okay?
Yeah. And let me know, Kristen, if I'm still breaking up.
Okay, I think it's just because like there's all kinds of noise and Zoom.
Yeah.
You know how it goes. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'll just be monitoring everything, okay?
Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to demonstrate real quick how to do your liquid letting real quick. Okay, so you're going to grab your bottle with your whole fist because you're going to want to have the whole strength of your hand. You don't want to grab it with just your fingertips. So grab it really with your whole fist. Okay, and I'm going to start squeezing and I'm going to touch down. And then once I touch down, I'm going to keep squeezing, but I'm going to lift up to where my bottle is like an inch above my plate. Okay, and I'm going to try and squeeze at an even rate, but you can see that that's kind of hard sometimes. But then when I get to the end, I'm going to stop squeezing and I'm going to touch down on my glass again. Okay, so I'm going to show that to you again. So I'm going to start squeezing. I'm going to touch my glass. And then as I am still squeezing, I'm going to lift up and I'm going to try and squeeze even pressure. Otherwise, my little bead will come out. Come out all like a different width. So you can see here, my pressure wasn't the same. And this is okay. Like it's not going to be perfect and that's fine. And in here, my hand was kind of wiggly. So it's okay if it's not perfect. We can actually use your toothpicks or something to kind of manipulate the line a little bit. And when this dries, you can also cut it and stuff too. But it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so you're going to start tracing all of these lines on your drawing. So I'm going to start on this outer circle. I'm going to lift and I'm kind of just letting my liquid letting fall as I guide it around my circle. So my tip is not touching my glass at this point, it's hovering above it. And then when I come to the end, I stop squeezing and I touch down. Okay, so it takes some practice and your hand's probably going to get tired. So just do as much as you can today and that's fine. And then maybe later you can finish it if you don't get all of it done. Okay, but yeah, just do your best. It is easier if it's up above and it kind of falls in a line. It'll give you a straighter, cleaner line than trying to drag it on your plate. So you can do that too if that's easier for you. So maybe this stuff is washable. So if you want to practice, you can, and then you can just get a paper towel and wipe it off. So it is going to take about 24 hours for this to completely dry. So you do have time to kind of fix things or clean things up if you don't like it. Okay, and then you just keep working all those lines. You can go slow and really take your time. It's kind of like frosting a design on a cookie. So tomorrow, after this is all dry, we're going to mix some paint to make it look like it's stained glass. And we're going to fill in all these little areas between our leading. And then it will look like a stained glass print.
Chandler, are you okay? Hold on. Now I can't unmute you. Can you unmute yourself?
I'm fine. My dad just wants to clean up some of the extra stuff on the outside.
Oh,
We're
okay.
gonna try to clean up some of the shape here.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Okay, just making sure. I didn't want her to be frustrated.
Oh no, I saw her facial expression as well.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, just take your time. And remember, it does not have to be perfect. And you can take like your little stick or toothpick and fix some of the lines if you want, if you need to. I got it all over my, it's messy. How are you guys doing?
A whole lot of very intense concentration happening right now.
Yes, I know, everyone's very concentrated. You know. It does require a lot of concentration, doesn't it? And if you guys wanted, like if you have enough liquid leading, I don't know how much, I just gauged how much I think you needed. But if you think you have enough, you could even just wash this all off and start again. Yeah, and I didn't use this bottle, Kristen. So now we have some extra one.
Okay, cool.
And I just wanted to point out that actual leading is not perfect either. Like right here, it's a lot thinner than like over here. So it doesn't have to be perfect. It's going to look really beautiful. Anyways, like over here, this line is like thin and thick, and yeah. But this, I think, is beautiful. I love it. So you actually don't have to do this outside black line. I don't think I said that. But this outside black line is the edge of your glass. It should be, at least on yours. I just used it as like a demonstration line. That idea is to be able to put it back into your picture frame. So you don't want this liquid lead to be underneath where your picture frame is going to be. So you just outline the inside design. You all done, Madeline? Yeah? Did it turn out good? Oh, so beautiful.
Gorgeous. That's so nice.
Yeah, that's gonna look great. Okay, just put it aside somewhere and let it dry. It'll just dry overnight. How you doing, Lola? You good? Oh, yay, you did the turtle. That looks amazing. I love the turtle.
Yeah, I love that too. That looks great, Lola.
Very cute. I think we lost the Cannon boys.
Emily texted me and just said that they were having mornings.
Okay, yes.
They're having a case of the Mondays on a Wednesday, but no what day it is, so.
I know. I don't think it really matters
No, it doesn't.
what day it is. Oh, that's so funny. How are you doing, Chandler? Coming along? Okay, when you guys are all done, you just set it aside somewhere safe where no one's gonna touch it. My kids will look at that and be like, ooh, I want to touch it. And then it will be ruined. But if you guys ever want to do it again, there's a whole lot more templates for you to do it in the future. Okay, and now, Chandler, take your time. I know you're still working.
And I'll have the video posted on YouTube, Chandler, a little later this afternoon. So if you want to go back and watch any of it, that's fine.
Okay, so I am going to show you guys how to cut glass today. So we decided to go ahead and do this now instead of later on in the week. We were going to do it last, but. Okay. So I think you guys all got a glass cutter from Kristen yesterday.
Yes, but yours is, instead of that with the little,
Foil holder.
yeah, and the bolt, if one of you has it handy, show Jeff the glass cutter that I gave you. It doesn't have the chamber for oil. It's a much simpler device, but it also doesn't have the bolt on it.
It doesn't have a bolt on it. Okay.
Lola, those are your pliers. You need those. That's it, what Madeline is holding.
Okay, yeah, you'll need your pliers and you'll need this glass cutter.
The pliers are like in some bubble wrap.
And you'll need a sheet of glass, whichever one you have left over.
And you might want to wear gloves for this.
Yeah, put your gloves on.
You're gonna see lots of tiny little shards of glass. And this is where you really need to be careful, because it will look like it's just dust, but it's actually tiny pieces of glass. And your fingers will get cut very easily. I mean, it's not like you're going to be bleeding a lot or that it's going to be a fatal wound. It's just going to be irritating.
Okay, so you guys can see on your glass cutter, you can see that it's actually not a blade. It's actually just like this little wheel. And you're probably wondering, how is that going to cut glass? Even though it's called glass cutting, we're not actually cutting the glass. We're actually just scoring it, kind of like making an indentation into the glass. And wherever we make that indentation, like it makes that part of the glass a little weaker, so that when we go and apply pressure with our hand or these pliers, it will naturally kind of break along that score line because it's weaker in that area. Okay, so this blade turns as I push it along my glass. Okay. So first, I wanted to teach you a little bit about your glass or your cutter. And there's this page in your curriculum, like you can read this as well. It says how to hold a cutter. Okay, there's a couple different ways that people like to hold a cutter. Some people like to put the handle in the like a little indentation between your thumb and your finger, and they like to put their pointer finger on top and like hold it with their thumb on the side, and then they would use their other hand like this to kind of guide while they're cutting. Okay, other people like to grip it like this, and that might be easier for you guys, just because you have small hands and your kids. I think kids kind of naturally hold their pencils like this sometimes when they're really little. So just you guys can, and then you would also just keep your other hand here to kind of push against and guide it. So you guys can kind of practice holding it different ways, either gripping it with your full hand or just with your pointer on top and your thumb on the side, like that. Okay, So whichever way is more comfortable for you is the best way. There's no right way or wrong way. And if you find a different way even that's more comfortable for you, just hold it that way. Okay, so usually a glass cutter has like a little screw on the top, and I don't know where your blade is. Is it on the little jaggedy end or on the ball end?
So, if one of you will hold your glass cutter up, because I have one at the space. I should have brought it here with me, but of course I don't have it. I don't
Can
think.
you hold yours up, Madeline, again?
Yeah, hold yours up. Yeah, get it really close to the camera for us so
I can see where your little
Jess can see it.
wheel is. Where's your little wheel?
Yeah, you
Okay,
see,
it's on that little jaggedy
you
one.
see, it's still a little wheel. You see that?
Okay. Yeah.
But they want the angled end is gonna be the back side, and the wheel end is gonna be the front side. Like that's what's gonna go first. You know what? Like how your bolt goes first, Jess?
Yeah.
Flat side is gonna go first.
Okay, their flat side is the top.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Okay, so you're going to hold it to where the jaggedy, like little key looking end is on the bottom underneath, and then your finger or your hand is on top and it'll be smooth. Does that make sense? So like you guys have like your blade cutter like looks like a key on one side, like it's all jaggedy. That's gonna go underneath.
Yeah.
And then your smooth side is going to be on top.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. So when we're cutting glass, we start on one side of the glass and we don't ever stop in the middle, because then our glass will be scored halfway and it will cut cleanly on that, but then cut random from there on. So whenever you score glass, you have to go all the way to the other end. That way it knows to cut, like the glass cuts evenly all the way across. And then you want to hold your cutter straight up and down. You don't want to angle it as you're cutting. You want to make sure that your cutter stays straight up and down the whole time. And then you also are going to need to put pressure. And this is something that varies depending on what kind of glass you have. And just over time and practice, you kind of get the feel of how much pressure. And some people listen for the sound their wheel makes.
Yeah,
They just
that's what I do. Yeah. You're gonna hear a sound when you apply the right pressure, and you're gonna see the line. You're gonna see the line that you're scoring. So it's a very unique sound, but when you hear it, you're gonna know it. Right? You're gonna know that you're etching into the glass.
Yeah. So it just takes some practice, but you will hear it and it kind of sounds like a screeching sound a little bit. But you don't want it to sound like a grinding sound, because that maybe you're pushing too hard. So it's also important to see your line at all times. So a lot of times people will have a plan of what they want to cut out, and they might use like a marker or something, and they say, I need a square this size. Okay, so first, I don't know if you can see that because of the glare. So they would mark on their glass with their marker. And first I would cut all the way across this way. And then once I break that piece off, then I could just cut across that way. Okay. because then I would be cutting from one end to the other. So you would mark where you're going to go, and I want to be able to see that line the whole time. So a lot of people will push their glass cutter so that they can see where they're going the whole time instead of pulling. Because if I started, you know, here and pulled across, I can't see where I'm going because my line's behind my hand. So you're mostly going to push your cutter. And so yeah, if you press too hard, you might get this, like, a lot of glass dust. It might be really grinding your glass. If you don't press hard enough, your glass may not break cleanly. So it just takes practice. So that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to practice. And if you picked a glass that has like a texture on it, I think this iridescent glass kind of has a texture on one side and it's smooth on the other. You're going to want to cut on the smooth side. So you can feel and turn your glass over if you need to. If you did turn your glass over and when your piece is final, you wanted the texture side upright, you would also have to flip your template because then it would be backwards. So in the future, just so you know. Okay, you guys ready to try?
What's your question, Lola?
What are we trying to make, like, out of cutting?
I think we're just going to practice right now, and then tomorrow we're going to do some mosaics, and I can teach you how to cut like different shapes. But I think for now, I think we're just going to practice cutting. Yeah, just like a long strip, and then maybe some squares out of that long strip.
Yeah, you just kind of got to get used to using the glass cutter because it's a new skill.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to hold my cutter like this, but you hold your cutter however you'd like. And you want to start just like barely past the edge. You don't want to start right on the edge, just a little bit past the edge. Okay, and I'm going to press down on my wheel on my glass, okay? And I don't want to lift up while I'm doing this. Can you guys kind of hear how you can hear it's like crackling? And I'm going to go all the way to the other end. And you won't be able to see it, but there's like this little score line all the way across.
So you didn't push hard. Sound?
I have a little line.
Awesome, that sounded good.
Can you hear you see the line, the crack you made? There?
Careful, Daddy. It makes dust.
Okay, you can see the line.
Okay, and then once you guys get your line scored, you're going to use your little plier things. If you guys have those out, you're going to place it kind of in the middle. There's like this little line on my plier. I'm going to place that little line on the line I scored. And I'm going to kind of clamp down and use pressure. And you can see that it broke right along that score line. Kind of cool, huh? Kind of magical, I think.
Where's the pressure thing?
Okay.
Orange.
So yeah, your little bolts on these will be upright. And line up this line with the score line that you made in your glass. And just keep them. And clamp down. and the pressure on it will force the glass to break along that line. You can kind of see that they're a little curved, which is kind of forcing the glass to curve and break.
So how did she do it?
Put it on where the line was, and then she
I'm scared.
Don't be
Yeah.
scared.
Line up this line here with your score line.
So it has rubber.
So it
Just
should
right-
be going in the same direction.
Yeah, should be going.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
So the line should all be in one long line, Lola. There you go.
yeah. So you can see
Did it do it?
it's a little piece.
It's a little piece. Okay, so you know what that means, Lola, is that part of where you scored was deep enough, but the rest wasn't deep enough. So just try it again. Just get your little scoring pin and do it again. Just with a little more pressure this time.
You want to put it right on top of that line. Nope. No, you want to parallel.
Yeah, you can see here was my score line, and I placed my pliers here along my score line and pressed down, and it broke.
That's how it goes.
Let's work with that little piece right there. Okay. I'm gonna try to not like slice you.
Did you do it, Chandler?
Yay! Look at
Wow.
that!
What about you, Madeline? How's it going?
Yeah, did it work?
Let's say, try to do some squares. Okay.
Oh, so then it can be extra when we're
Try to do maybe,
Excellent, Madeline.
and then you can
Woohoo!
Squeeze it.
Okay, let's
so
watch
now-
Lola. Here she goes.
I'm gonna start trying.
Oof.
It's a little nerve-wracking, huh? But nothing to be scared of. You guys got this.
Lola, how much space are you giving yourself between the edge of the glass and where your score line is?
Maybe this much.
You and do it.
Give yourself a little more space, okay? Maybe try 2 inches this time. And I want you to, Lola, I'm gonna put my so you can see my hand, okay? I want you to take it like a pin, right? And then I want you to press down and I want you to push it forward like this. You see how I'm doing? So I put it on the edge of the glass and then I'm gonna push it forward.
Lola, could you, can you put your finger on the very top, all the way on the top? This forefinger. Yeah, and then your thumb on the side. And then it's going to help to be able to support this hand with your other hand as you're cutting. So if you kind of have like both your
Hold on.
pointers going down the shaft.
Did you get cut, Lola?
Yeah, on my arm.
Oh my gosh. This is one medium that really does
What did you do? Where?
create a lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
Yes.
A whole lot of blood. I'm sorry, Lola.
I'm just gonna get a Band-Aid.
Okay, go
Okay.
get a Band-Aid. Yeah.
That one?
Okay, guys, and then you guys can start cutting little squares across. Okay.
So now next,
Start
let's do-
scoring,
which one do you want to do next? Let's do this one next.
scoring squares.
Line it up. Line it up. Good. Okay. Squeeze it. Okay. Good job.
These will be easier because you don't have as far to go.
Yeah.
But you do also want to keep your pressure the same the whole way across.
One.
And you guys can use these tools with any flat glass. It doesn't have to just be stained glass. You can use it on mirror glass, like
This on the other side, because the other side's more straight.
any flat glass, these tools will work on. Excellent job, Madeline. Excellent, man. You guys are some experts already.
Trying. Maybe
Okay.
it's too close to the edge.
I think it might be too close to me.
Kind of fun, huh? To be able to cut glass. It's like a superhero power.
See if I can-
Eh.
cut through glass.
Yeah, but you can't tell anybody how easy it is because then
Yes.
they'll
Whoa,
know.
where are you going, Chelsea?
Those are the secret.
So that one fractured. Sure, it's not gonna. It's just gonna. Okay, I promise. Oh. So that one, yeah, that one must not have been scored deep enough. Let's use this to make a triangle. So maybe here, right? So let's put the triangle of that one here, and also do it over here, right there. Okay.
2 more triangles.
So make a search on that one.
Oops, I didn't do.
Good job, Madeline. Okay, I'm watching you go, Lola.
Ew.
She did.
Oh, you did
Yay! And now, Lola, you can just cut smaller squares now. Watch Jess.
Yeah, now I'm cutting smaller squares across. So it's a little easier. I don't have to go as far.
Yeah, that sound is a good sound. You hear that sound?
But I didn't do it deep enough, see? You can barely see it, that's why.
And also, just a note, if you guys do it upside down, your pliers, it won't work. So always make sure that the little black line is on the top. I keep grabbing them while they're upside down.
This is fun.
It is fun, huh?
Yeah. It's scary because I don't want
Cut
to.
glass all day long.
All day. I can remember just when I
I think she
found
accidentally.
out how easy it was.
Here, let's try.
Wow,
What'd
I
you
felt
say,
like I had. I said I can remember when the day I found out how easy it was to cut glass. I felt like I had been bamboozled my whole life.
That's so funny. Yeah, this is kind of Kristen's specialty, guys. I have never done this before, but she knows. So if you guys have questions, ask her.
But I didn't know anything about it before I started to do stained glass mosaics. I didn't know anything. And there was a stained glass artist up in McKinney. who
Let's do
did
other
a
shapes.
lot.
What other shapes do you want to do? Let's try to practice.
See, so everyone starts at ground zero, knowing
You want
nothing.
to make it into a square, or do you want to do something
I think
else?
a square is
Okay, go ahead. You got this cross section here you can work with.
but I'm gonna do it in. That's a good sound.
And if you guys want to use your Sharpie ever, like tomorrow I'll teach you how to like cut actual shapes, like other than squares. And this Sharpie will just come off with some rubbing alcohol too after you're done
Smell that?
using it as a guide. So this is the one I marked, and I just rubbed.
Multiple lines there. What do you find?
Kristen, I learned how to cut a circle.
Oh, you did with those
Yeah.
with that glass cutter?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, that's exciting.
I know, I'm excited.
I want to see it. I want to know how you do it.
I know.
Do you use like what do you use?
Okay, so you use the same tool. You just have to do it in several pieces.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah,
I can only get it to
I've got-
curves.
I'm gonna show them tomorrow how to cut a circle.
Oh my gosh. I think I may bring some glass home and we can all do it together.
I know.
And you know, the funny thing is that I buy so many glass cutters, they're all over the place. I'll be cleaning in the studio and the house and be like, what? I didn't know. Just found a new one.
That's so funny. That's awesome. So yeah, guys, you guys can finish that strip of glass cutting, and then or you can keep working or whatever.
You definitely need to be careful cleaning this stuff. We don't want anybody cutting this stuff in the future.
Tomorrow we're going to start some mosaic, and
Like this, and the glass will stick to the wet cloth.
like if you guys have any like bigger pieces like this, we can use these to cut these down, or you can keep cutting on your sheet, and we can make some cool designs for our mosaics. Okay, I'm super excited. I'm super proud of you guys. You
Yeah, I
guys did
know.
such a good job today.
Yeah, you don't have to stop working just because we're signing off. Feel free to keep going. Hold on, Lola, you're muted. You got to unmute yourself.
Where do we put all the broken glass?
So you can put it on your plate with all your other glass,
Oh, okay.
because you can use it for
Yeah,
our project coming up.
yeah, when you're cleaning up, remember that it's not going to look dangerous, but there's lots of tiny shards of glass. And so what I do is I either, like, if I had newspaper down, I just like roll up the newspaper real carefully, throw it all away. Or if I'm doing it on a piece of cloth, I wrap up the cloth really carefully and I take it outside and I dump it in the grass. I don't dump it on a flat surface where feet will find it. I dump it in the grass. Okay, that way if people are walking around barefoot, like all the way down, they won't get cut. Yeah. Oh, Lola. Man.
Mine's better. I got cut a few days ago, but now mine's
All the way there.
Yeah, it is.
Mine's real bloody.
I'm so sorry, Lola.
yeah.
But your blood sacrifice will be remembered by the art.
By the glass.
Okay, everybody, send us pictures when you get stuff done. This was so much fun, and we'll see you tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.